Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to What Would Cynthia Do? Happy continued Black History Month. I hope everyone is doing great. 1 second, I have to figure out how to redirect whatwouldcynthiado.com to today's post because it seemed to not be working. So just hang tight with me for 1 second. I'm gonna figure out these tech issues because when you're an entrepreneur, you wear all the hats. In the meantime, please say hi in the chat if you are here. I would love to know who's here because I can't see you. And today's topic, which I'm pretty excited about because it's like totally what I am going through right now, thinking about a lot, is how on earth do we even have like work-life balance right now? It's like ridiculous. Anyways, I'm going to do this. I can only monotask. So please introduce yourselves in the chat and connect with each other. Be right back. Yes. Okay. It is working. Hi, Carla. Hello. All right. I believe we are all set and hooked up. So let's get started. All right. This is me. I'm Cynthia Pong, of course, the Cynthia of What Would Cynthia Do? I'm a feminist career strategist. I work with women of color. And I would love to know who you all are. So please let me know what's your name, your pronouns, what you do if you want to share that, and one ask and one offer. Today, my ask is that you tell me I'm cooking something up. I'm always scheming, making something new, trying to create a new offering, doing collabs, etc. So I want to know, what questions do you have about leadership, career change, or negotiation? And yes, I'm asking for a secret project. I can't tell you more right now, but it is literally for all of you who have been really awesome What Would Cynthia Do regulars. So drop those in the chat anytime that you think of them throughout our conversation. Or if you're watching the replay, please PM them to me, private message, so that they don't get lost in the shuffle. And let's see who's here. Hi, Tiara. Great to see you again. Tamara, hello. Hey, Lucic. How's it going? It was so great to see Tiara yesterday. I'm going to shout you out. Doing a lot of shout outs of folks today. So get ready for that. It's going to be exciting. Tiara was great and joined yesterday for #Black Introvert Week, a panel that one of my colleagues and former clients, Jerry Bingham of Hush Loudly, is putting on. If you missed it, don't worry. There is going to be a second panel this week to celebrate and elevate and amplify Black introverts. That one's going to be on Saturday, I believe. Yeah, Saturday at, I want to say 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern. And that's going to be about like how to love an introvert, because it's right before Valentine's Day. 13 tips or something like that. So we'll be talking about like relationships and things like that. Please tell your friends that you can all tune into the show now, whatwouldcynthiado.com. Whoever was here from the very beginning today saw me like have to set that up real quick, but it should be working now. And let me know if you all try to go there right now and it is sending you to last week's show, because that's a problem. Anyway, this is great. Tell your friends, whatwouldcynthiado.com. Easier way to find the show. And now we're just going to roll right on into the first segment. How are we doing, everybody? I especially want to check in with how you're doing today, because the topic is work-life balance. And that is a topic that I always feel like, oh, is that really a thing? Is that ever possible to find balance when we have so much going on? We're in dual or triple pandemics, depending on how you look at it. So let me know how you're doing. Tell me in the chat. 2 words if you want, more if you are able to share. I'll let you know. Oh no, I forgot. Okay, well, one thing is, as you all do that too, I do want to, I did my ask, but I didn't do my offer. My offer this week is a really cool thing that I want to show you, that one of our show regulars, Viana Adams. Are you here, Viana? If you are, say hi. Viana Adams told me that she has a new blog post, which I'm going to show you right here. Here we go. This is a piece written by our very own Rihanna Adams. Look at that. From a graduate, how changing my mindset helps me find joy. So check this all out. It's on heytheresocialmedia.com. If you Google that in Viana's name, you'll find it. And I really liked this piece because it was so real. It was so genuine. Viana really shared a lot. And then just this piece about like mindset. Yeah, like that's what's within our control. And it really dovetails nicely into our topic today because we're all talking about like, how can we possibly feel any form or shape of balance in all of this that we're in? So shout out to Viana for this awesome piece. You get an air horn. That's for you, Viana. Okay, let me stop sharing for a second. And we're back. Okay, so Tiara, exhausted but looking forward to an extended weekend. Wow, yes. I'm going to tell you that I agree with the first part, and I also forgot it was an extended weekend. And I definitely just treated Monday upcoming as like regular work day. So that's on me. But I'm glad others are more organized and on top of their calendar. Tomorrow, feeling scattered and anxious. Yes. Let's do some breathing. I have to stop myself several times a day sometimes to remind myself to unclench my jaw, move it around. I actually tweeted that yesterday and it got a good amount of likes for me, a very small account on there. And then also to breathe, like deep breathing. I will say that a couple of years ago, I realized that I had this habit of holding my breath whenever a page was reloading or is getting the rainbow spinning wheel of loading, like, something going slow on my computer. Like I was holding my breath when that happened. So now what I do whenever I see the spinning wheel is I actually use it to remind myself to take a deep breath for the period of time that it's frozen. So I offer that if that is at all helpful. I feel you, Tamara. I feel scattered and anxious too, almost all the time. So let me know also, what do you generally tend to do? You're the expert on you. What do you tend to do to ground yourself and, address that feeling of anxiety and stuff in your day to day? I would love to know because this is all what we're talking about today. Self-care, work-life balance, and we all could learn from each other. Yes, congrats to Viana. Hopefully Viana can see the replay later on and see all these nice comments and support. Lusick, oh, you should cut down on how much I'm on Clubhouse. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us probably have that. If it's not Clubhouse, it's something else. Like I was just in my I'm in this crowdfunding program, and we have office hours where we all get together and kind of like talk about where we're at with the course on Wednesdays right before this. And one person was saying how much they're just like, they know what they need to do to prep the crowdfunding campaign that they're doing. And it's always the thing that gets pushed off to the side, back burner every single time. We all have that, right? There's always at least some set of things or one thing that is always like, I'll do it later. I'm too tired. I want to do this. It's that battle between future us, like we know we should be doing that. It will help future us if we do that now, and present us who just wants to do the thing that feels good. And not to like, throw shade on that, because we should listen to ourselves also. And there is a balance. So anyway, back to what Lucic is saying. One of my cohort members, colleagues in that crowdfunding course is saying like, she knows like she has an hour, she could spend it on the crowdfunding thing, or she could spend it doing TikTok. And so that's like her Clubhouse, so yeah, I feel that tension. Like we as business owners too, because Lucic's a DEI practitioner, you have your own business, like we got to be out here promoting and like making connections and building our business reputation and all that stuff. And it can be a lot. So we're going to talk about boundaries and limits actually later today. Oh, Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Tell everyone about your podcast, please, so we can all listen, get a dose of that magic that you do on there. Nicole says, over the pandemic, but feeling more energized about my workout routine. Oh, that's great. That's really good. working out, I think exercise is definitely a thing. I posted about it recently on Instagram, how I kept blowing off my workouts when I started doing this new routine that I have like about a year and a quarter. And I realized it was because I always put work first. Like I scheduled my workouts already. I deprioritized it from the beginning. Like I scheduled them in the evening, late afternoon, evening. Every time I'd always had an excuse. Got to finish this email. Got to do this proposal. Have to post on such and such. Got to get back to this person. Got to do my clients, whatever, you know? And I would blow off the workouts. But then I switched it up by putting the workouts in the morning, even though I'm not a morning person at all, people. I'm like not functional before 9 o'clock. Let the whole world know. But yeah, that was the key. I had to do that, and then now I've been able to work out in the mornings. I also like hired a friend as a trainer, so it's accountability, and I put money towards it, so I'm like invested. So anyway, yeah, if you want to share, Nicole, what your workout routine is, I would love to know, and I think it could help us all too. So let me know. Tamara, using my fitness app to stop and breathe today. Yes. So if you're feeling scared and anxious, like that can be great. Like this is how you leverage tech, right? To help you be healthier, more healthful, whatever the word is. Instead of the other tensions, like getting sucked into things that actually hinder our health holistically. And yeah, disconnecting for a day or two from everyone. Wow. Okay. I don't want to put you on the spot, but are you an introvert? That feels like a very introverty thing to say. And I love it because I am a hardcore introvert. I feel like I need to disconnect for like 3 months. Is that ridiculous? I like need a sabbatical. But that's not happening anytime soon. Here on the disconnect. At least 8 ounces of water a day. Yes, I have 2 glasses of water right here with my coffee in between. So I've got some balance between the vices and the virtues. Is that the opposite? I don't know. But yes, I'm trying to drink a lot of water. Thank you, Lucic. I know you know what the entrepreneur struggle is like, the journey. Fascinating. Hip Hop Fit on YouTube. Okay, so is that just like a channel and you tune in and you like do the stuff? I love it. Yes. Okay. Shout out to Nicole's podcast. It's super awesome. Cinema Therapy. Anyone who is interested in TV and film, you're gonna love it. Possibly one of my favorite episodes of all time of Cinema Therapy. That podcast was the one about witches. I don't know. I'm obsessed with that episode. It was back around Halloween. So look that up if you want, and subscribe, rate, and review. Thanks for supporting Nicole. Yes, Introverts Unite. Tamara, if you're not already tapped into the Hush Loudly community, Jerry Bingham's, Elevating Introverts platform, Google Hush Loudly and definitely like you can sign up for the newsletter, follow on social, all that stuff to find out about the events where you can connect with other introverts in introvert friendly ways and feel seen and heard. And I don't know, last night's panel was awesome. Everyone just kept saying how like it's a great space to feel like you're resonating with others. All right, this was a great check-in. I simply want to say, and I don't know, give us like a little yay, because I feel like, I don't know, we really did a lot of connecting today, and I'm proud of us, and I don't know, just thankful for you all for being regulars to the show and contributing to this space. And I know that you putting yourselves out here and connecting with each other is going to help us all amplify and elevate each other. Okay. So what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, I'm also curious how everyone's Black History Month is going. If you follow my blog, like, I have particular feelings about these kinds of things like International Women's Day and the History Months, because I feel like, while they are great and like a good time for us to like focus on like certain communities, I also think that they perpetuate this idea that the normal default is white and male and cisgender and like all of this stuff. And so, if like one day out of the 365 days of the year is International Women's Day, does that mean the rest of the year is like International Men's Day, So I have my own little gripe about that. At the same time, yes, Black History Month, Black people are the past, present, and future of everything. So always remember that we should be celebrating Black history and present and futures all the time. But yeah, let me know if you've done anything cool, attended any cool events, met cool people as part of any Black History Month celebrations. I would love to know. Okay, so drop that in the chat, and I'm gonna roll us into the topic of the day: work-life balance? Question mark? Because yeah, I do question it a lot of times. How on earth do we find balance in the middle of a pandemic? 1 year into a pandemic, and as I said, a dual or triple pandemic, depending on how you look at it. So, as usual, I'm going to talk about this for the next 5 to 10 minutes. And please drop your questions and comments in the chat so I can keep things targeted and customized to you, and like we can have a conversation of sorts. And before I launch into this topic, because I want to share some stuff with y'all, I want to know, how would you rate your current work-life balance? Okay, scale of 1 to 10. 1 being like, there is zero balance in my life. It's all work all the time, just work, 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 work. 10 being, I feel really great. I'm taking care of all the different parts of me, not only the professional and the work me, also the personal me, also spiritual, all of that stuff, right? That would be a 10 if you feel really good. 1 is, we got room for improvement. Let me know in the chat. And I will say, to open it up, I give myself like a 2.5 right now. Originally I was gonna write 2, and I was like, I think I could be a little bit better to myself, but so I landed on a 2.5. So let me know if I'm alone. Are you also around where I'm at, or are you doing really good on this? Oh yeah, Carla, up there at 7. Congratulations. Oh yes, and Start Out has many events planned for Black History Month. Oh, very cool. Good tip. Thank you for offering that, Lucic. Everyone check out Start Out. Oh, Tamara 8. Yes. Lucic 3 to 4. You're in range with me. Nicole's got an 8. Congratulations. TR6. Not bad, not bad. So keep dropping those numbers in there. I'm gonna loop back to this at the end and ask you something. So since I'm at a 2.5, you've already gathered I am not an expert at this. Like, maybe theoretically I know a lot of things about this, but I'm not necessarily good at like taking my own medicine or like taking my own advice on this. So that's my disclaimer. Hashtag lawyers be like. And I'm going to talk about 3 things that I think about when I think about like sort of the crisis of work being everything in the time that we are in. And disclaimer, this is going to be very non-mom centric, non-parent centric. So I want to say that straight out, because there's going to be like parents and moms are going to have like 7 extra layers on top of what I think the rest of us are kind of dealing with. And the New York Times just did a great set of like, not even like exposés. I guess they're kind of exposés, but a couple of different pieces in the New York Times about how bad this crisis is right now for moms in particular. So check that out. I would say that's way more of an authority on that angle than me as a child-free person. So yes, with that said, I want to talk about 3 things. All right, and again, drop your comments and your questions in the chat. I'm going to share screen for a second. The first thing is I want to talk about loss. I think we have to, oh, that's the wrong button. I think we have to recognize that we've all been going through various levels of loss. I mean, all the way from loss of loved ones, singular or plural, loss of friends, loss of community, loss of the way things were before. And I like to talk about change and transition as a process of loss and kind of grieving and mourning for really anything. Like, even if you feel like the change is positive and you're leaving behind something that's negative, you are still having to say goodbye to the way things were. And that process, this is why change is so hard a lot of times for us, because it's like a mini or a mega process of grieving and mourning and adjustment every single time. And if you're going through multiple parallel processes of change, growth, whatever you want to call it, it can be even harder. Like, they're compounded, right? So that's kind of usually what I think about loss and why change is so hard. And I see so many clients going through it, right, with the career change, or going to the next level with their leadership, thought leadership, growing their business, all of those things. But specifically, I wanted to talk about this article, which was highlighted in one of my favorite podcasts called Fake the Nation with Nagin Farsad. And this was the article that they discussed like an episode or two ago, about how the pandemic has erased entire categories of friendship. So what this article talks about, and I haven't read it too closely, but the thing that I wanted to point out to all of you is this concept of weak ties. So because we are spending so much time in isolation, either in our homes, in where we're staying, like in our bubbles or whatnot, we have lost this whole segment that used to be our lives of, like, even for introverts, right? Like, you go to the bodega or you walk down the street, you see a neighbor, you see the such and such person at the grocery store, and you like might say hi, you might like shoot the shit with them a little bit, or like people at work. But or like friends of friends, right? That you might see, but like maybe you don't have their contact info, or like you're not that close, so you're not going to take that extra step of going to talk to them now. But that whole part of our lives is kind of just like excised currently, because we are living the way that we are. So I don't know if you all feel this at all. Do you feel like you have lost parts of your life because you're not really going outside as much? You're not seeing people, like we are maintaining our distance and all that stuff. Give me a yes in the chat if you feel like this is you. Like, I don't know if this resonates or not. Because I mean, I definitely feel it. There's absolutely people like in my community work, where it used to be like in a physical space and now it's just virtual. Like I don't see a lot of those people, and like I might see them on an email chain, but like I don't actually interact with them. And as much as I talk about how like I don't like people or whatever, like actually, brain science wise, interactions with folks can actually make us feel a lot better. They, cause all those happy chemicals to go off in our brains and stuff. So let me know if this sounds like you. But this thing and like the replacement of in real life interactions with screen time, oh wow, I just feel like that's a huge part of the current state that at least I am in. And I don't know if you all feel it too, but it's something we have to grapple with and just think about, like, acknowledge what losses you may have experienced, may continue to be experiencing, and then I'm take you to the second of three things in a minute. Thank you for dropping that link, Carla. You're the best at that. Yes, so much, and it makes me feel so sad. I'm a social butterfly. Yeah, I do feel for my extroverted friends. This time has been even harder on them, and Nicole, absolutely. I miss the folks I'd say hello to when grabbing snacks at the workplace. That's exactly what this article is about. Like those people that you might just say hi to every so often and like exchange a smile. Like that does something like to our mental like composition, and we don't really have that anymore. Tiara, yes, I moved right before the pandemic. Oh my gosh, to a familiar place, but still limited opportunities to see others. Yes, I have a client who moved during the pandemic. And actually he's been having a really hard time, like, just getting established, because he's also in the middle of like a job transition, just so many transitions. It's really hard in this time, and our support networks have like shrunken, I don't know who keeps pinging me over there. Okay. Tamara, I miss going out and doing different activities. I mean, yeah, I have to say I do too. As much as I'm like, I could be in my house for 4 days in a row, no big deal. I do like the endless cycle of every day, just feeling like it's all work all the time, it takes a toll. So that's kind of the first thing I wanted to point out. The second thing is, oh yeah. So, I mean, one thing I'll mention on the first point still about the loss, going out and doing different activities. On this note, so yesterday I did have to run an errand that required me to be on the subway. I'm in New York, right? So I was on the train for like an hour one direction, an hour on the way back. And I took my notes for today to go and prep it in the train with my clipboard, because yes, I'm that dorky person on the train with a clipboard, double masked and everything. and it was glorious. I can't even tell you like how great it was to like be out there and feel like, oh, okay, like some sense of routine and normalcy again, like pre-pandemic normalcy, and to be not staring at a screen. Oh my God, my eyes felt so good. Let me know if you all resonate with that in any way, because I don't know if I'm the only one here or not. Anyway, so the loss, acknowledge and just, sit with that and recognize that is a thing that is happening. Second thing that I want to talk about is restore. Like, how can we restore ourselves continually, ground ourselves, all of that good stuff, because we have to make time for that. Otherwise, we're just gonna, I don't know, bad things will happen. So I wanted you to share in the chat if you can, like what things restore you, like what activities, what modes of being, what practices, rituals you have, because I'd love to share those with each other. And I'll tell you, for me, the thing that really restores me is laughing with my friends. Like nothing else is better than that to me. And I feel so good. And I was on the phone the other day with a friend that I hadn't talked to in like maybe 2 weeks, so not even that long. And she was saying, I feel like I go into withdrawal when we don't talk every week. And I was like, that resonates. I think that is true. And it's so easy to put off, again, like the back burner thing. And yet it's so important. So, let me know what restored you, because I want us to commit to like making time for it. Tiara, so on topic, FaceTiming with friends, right? So real. So, I mean, how often do you do that? Like, is it scheduled in your calendar, or do you kind of just do it whenever you feel like it? Like, I'm so curious to know. And for other folks like Tamara, Nicole, Lucic, Carla, like what else, anyone else who hasn't chimed in yet, like what else restores you? And maybe we can all share tips on that. Also, Carla, the other day, I actually didn't feel so bad about being on the 405. Yeah, totally. I mean, 100%. Things that we used to hate maybe are like the icing on our day sometimes now. Okay, so that's real quick. The second thing is to like figure out what restores you and then like make it a practice. And we can brainstorm stuff too if people are struggling with identifying those. The third thing that I will say is kind of a two-parter. But the real thing that gets is the lack of boundaries or limits, right? And sometimes we think of limits as being like bad things, but actually no, they can often be good things, like those guardrails on our lives, if you will. Or like if you bowl at all, which I don't, so I don't know why I'm using this analogy, but like the guardrails, the bumpers on either side that you can put so that your bowling ball isn't going to go into the gutter, right? Those type of things are important for our lives. And I feel like the pandemic and working remotely has just made that all like go to shit. So I feel like there's no boundary between work-life balance. I want to share this quick meme because it's so funny. It gets me every time. Y'all know this one. My life is just like Rihanna's song, work, 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 work. And the rest of it, I can't really understand. Ooh, when I saw it, when I was like, yes, relate. So I think about that all the time because I'm a dork. So drop a yes in the chat if you feel like your work life, like the boundary is like just bleeding into each other. It's just work all the time and it's taking over your life. Give me a yes or a no. I want to kind of do like a little temperature check. And then I will say that like the one thing is, and I sighed heavily because I write about this a lot, the fact that the pandemic and the economic fallout has hugely disproportionately, either held back, destroyed, wrought havoc, I don't know, on the careers of women in particular, especially moms, especially women of color, especially Black and brown women. I mean, I write about this so much, but I think the flip side of that is that for some of us, we can really feel like, oh shit, it is that much harder for us right now. So we need to grind that much harder in order to make up for it. So I feel like I see this perverse reaction sometimes, both in myself and in my clients for sure. And at what cost, there's no easy answer here. And I'm not going to pretend I have an answer. I just am pointing out this tension that I know exists. Let's see. Oh, hi, Lenise. Working out. yoga, walking the dog, not answering the phone after a certain time. Those are really, really good boundaries and also restorative practices. Thank you for sharing those. I will real quick say that I really thought about getting a dog during this time. And then in part because I knew that it would help me with the work-life balance. And then also I chickened out because I was worried I wouldn't be able to do it because I work so much. Anyway, so we can not explore that too much. Yeah, at least monthly, it's more of a feeling when I started to feel down. I think when's the last time I talked to a friend, saw their faces? Yeah. Okay. So, maybe that could be a weekly thing. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do with my friend Fanny now is make sure that we talk once a week and make time for that. And my parents too. My parents are like, you never call, so I'm calling them more. Hip Hop Fit, super cool YouTube account run by Mike Peel. Yeah, dancing and like sound therapy through music is really underrated, I think. So thank you for sharing that resource too, Nicole. My 6-year-old niece, my best friend, being away from her is very tough. So Zooming, yes. Totally gotta, develop these ties with our families and stuff when these are the people who matter, like whoever matters most to you, husband's work-life balance. So he's tied with me down on the low end of the scale. Yes, I feel a kindred spirit there. Has impacted the amount of housework. Okay, so yes, that's so real. Sometimes I think I do that to my partner too. Like I can't do any of this stuff, so all those things pile up. This, we're all part of an ecosystem, right? Like one thing affects another. Monthly ladies chat. Yes. These are all such good tips, you all. Thank you all. And I'm so glad it's going to be like preserved in the chat for other people to see and learn from each other. Yeah. Thank you just for offering these, ideas and everything. So I'm going to wrap this up by saying like, for all of us, especially those of us who were like at the bottom of the scale, like I was 2.5, right? I think someone else was like a 3 or a 4. Even those of you who are towards the top, I don't think anyone said 10 when I asked, like, how would you rate your work-life balance right now? So I want to know now, what's one thing that we can each commit to doing in the next week so that we'll nudge it up either a half a point or 1 point on that scale. So if you were 7, what would take you to an 8? If you were an 8, what would take you to an 8.5? Like whatever that is, like I want you to say in the chat now so we have accountability. I cannot type in the chat, so I will just tell you with my mouth, which is I am committing to really respecting my lunch break. I've been blowing right through that. I even added it to my calendar. So it's now like a block and I made it 1 hour because I know myself, right? I'm going to cut into that time, but if it's 1 hour, I can at least like get 30 minutes out of it, I think. So let me know what's the one thing that you're going to do. It doesn't have to be major, right? That will help you move your rating on your own work-life balance from a 2 to a 3, a 5 to a 5.5. All right. Tell me in the chat. And I've kind of run us a little over time today, so thanks for hanging with us. But as I want you to drop your things in the your accountability things in there. So as you keep doing that, I will give you a minute to think. Let me give you some thinking music. Maybe that'll help. Okay, there you go. You have the thinking music. I do want to thank you all for coming. Please keep connecting with each other. Connect with me, of course, if you need anything. If there's any way I can further support you. Next time it's going to be next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Put it in your calendar if you need to, and tell your friends. Please know that you can now all go to whatwouldcynthiado.com to more easily find the show. You all saw me fumbling at the beginning to connect that, so I'm doing my best. Tell people, and let me see who else. What are we going to do? Yes. Sleep at a more decent hour. Yes. Specifically, what time is that, Lucic? Let's get real nitty gritty, reincorporating dates with my husband. That's so nice, Lenny's. Okay, so like date night, what, every other week or weekly? What are we talking? And then adding some kind of physical activity on my life. Yeah. So I would say, Tiara, the smallest thing you can do, right? You might all notice that I'm standing today instead of sitting because I have a standing desk. That was one thing I did last year that majorly upgraded my work life and my health, is to be able to like stand and move around and not be sedentary the whole time. So So like be specific. What kind of physical activity? Let's make it easy so you can get that easy and quick win, right? All right, so keep dropping these in the chat. I'm very excited for us to continue, all of us, like working on our work-life balance, because like I said, it is constantly, I feel like it's a wobble board, there's no stasis when you're talking about this stuff, because something is always changing and evolving, and that's okay. But how can you find a little more balance in the imbalance? That's what we're talking about. And yes, at least every other week. I love that. The date night. Yeah. Oh, good. Great. Y'all are just, yeah, we could just end with some stretching. Oh, how good does that feel? Let's move the body, take some more deep breaths. This is what it's all about. And, if you want to make your weekly What Would Cynthia Do time, like you're also stretching time, you can absolutely do that, right? Like I do that sometimes when I'm listening to a podcast, or, I've been trying to take more baths also, like for my body. If you have a tub, like Epsom baths. So I'll like listen to a podcast while I'm in there. It's great. I love that. So let's stretch our ways into our next Zoom meeting or appointment. I really am gonna stretch. This feels so good. Thank you, Lucic. And thank you all for coming. Definitely let your friends know they can join. If you have a request for next time's topic, I think it's open. I have some ideas, but it's open. So drop something in the chat. Thank you, Lucic. Thank you, Lanice, Tiara. Thank you, Nicole. Everyone, check out Cinema Therapy, Nicole's podcast. Thank you so much, Carla. Always helping me out. Tamora. I hope I got everybody's name. I'm scrolling through. And yeah, everyone who watches the replay. Thank you, Viana, also for being our What Would Cynthia Do spotlight for our regulars. And yeah, I'll see you all next week. Okay, bye.